G'day, how's everyone going? It's Martin Lynch again. Just got a new computer, so I thought I'd have like a different atmosphere. Okay, now I've got some questions for Dr. Steven Greer. The questions are, I'll go into the questions and then we'll have a bit of a talk about it later. What's your next step to get the subject mainstream? So Steven Greer, what are your ideas about getting this mainstream? Like what sort of projects have you worked on to get this mainstream? Do you think working with the native Indians and CE5 will increase your chances of getting it covered by the mainstream, i.e. focus on how they treated the land with respect and respect to that? Thirdly, will you come to Australia and catch up with myself and Kay McCulloch and do a CE5 with the native Aboriginals, which we want to do it? I've presented in a movie before that we want to do it with Pepsi because we want like a big push, we want like a big business coming there. Because you know how I see it is like getting off track. Okay, I'll get back to the questions. Okay, now I'll finish it off. Why I want big business is because big business, the big players have got a lot of push. So whatever they start doing, the other competitors will start doing as well. And if they do it something on world peace and something like that, that brings people together and focuses on the native Indians and say that we're a multicultural country now, but you've got to give it back to like how they used to do things. We've got to stop putting all the pollution into the water. We've got to keep on doing this. We've got to clean our act up. So it could be good. And then you could have another, like maybe you could have like a Pepsi drink that's an ayahuasca drink. Who knows? Maybe you might be able to pass it in government. That's only a joke. Okay, next question. If we can't take out the elite, how should we market it to them for them to help to change? Like, if we can't take out the elite, how can we market it to the elite that they change? So that's why I thought with Pepsi it would be great, because then they could do it, then Coke would change, then all business would change, make people spiritual. Everyone that's all these bad, really corrupt people are like, yes, everyone's getting spiritual, everyone's getting forgiving, everyone's getting forgiving and loving and accepting. And they're not wanting to look at 9/11 anymore. They're not wanting to look at all these other things and getting pissed off. They're just wanting, and then the people at the top, then they put the money into education. Hey, okay, the key is let's educate people. Let's start a schooling system that we educate people. And then we educate people, but we started off as a business, and the business is a school. We educate people from the ground up. We talk about many things that are essential, that are core essential things that you need to do. And we make people smarter, and then we go to the big business and we think of new mission statements, we think of new business plans. We do that, so we go to big business. So just say if I started a schooling system in Tasmania or Australia, I'd like it in Tasmania, I'd start a university. But it would be like a primary school, high school, a college, a university, and a school that people could work 2 or 3 days a week, or not even work at all, could come for a couple of days a week, 3 days a week. They could have the recess where they could play some soccer in the morning, they could have the lunch break, they could play, football or do whatever, they could meet. They're in a school full of all the younger people, older people, they're all mingling, they're all getting on well. There is no need for security or anything like that, because people are like grown up, people are just people are like, we change the outcome of how things are. I know in America that you've got a lot of security, but I want to start off in Tasmania, start off an educational system, and then we go to Australia. Like Australia, I'm a Tasmanian, sorry, we're the little island above the big one. So I want to make a difference. I want to start a schooling system that we say, okay, to Pepsi, just say, hey, if you give us say $200 million, what we'll do is we'll spend it on an educational system that will start up. We'll start thinking of ideas and plans. Excuse me, what was that? Sorry, that was a bit of a hiccup. We'll start thinking of new ideas for you, that we can think of new products for you. And it will make you, say, $2 billion. When we go into this new project, we will own, say, 30% of it, and you can own 70% of it. And we'll be a part of it. and we'll always get a cut of it. We'll also still be working with you forever, working on new projects, but whatever we go into, we get 30%, you get 70%. Then as things go on, we say, okay, we need a little bit more money. We need $1 billion, and we'll make you $10 billion, but we'll make it, and then we'll say, hey, Pepsi, we're going to Coca-Cola, and we're going to think of a plan for them. But guess what? It might not be in like beverage, it might be another line. Just see this, right? You've got all these top players, and they're all trying to compete against each other. They're all trying to like work within each other and have spies and try and bring each other down. So how about what we do is we go to all the big businesses and say, hey, we're going to think of a mission statement that's going to be different to everyone else's. We're not going to tell you what, we're going to make sure you succeed. Your money's going to be well spent because we're going to spend it on the people. The people that start thinking of the ideas, they get paid for it. They work in the educational system. Their ideas go into teaching and implementing and making people smarter through that. We bring this educational system into different countries. We go into Africa, we go into these other countries, and we say, hey, part of the whole schooling system is wherever the school is situated, that 30% of the profit that they make goes into local government. So that way, each schooling system that goes around that thinks of these ideas so that they can go to these big businesses, 30% goes back into the local government and say, hey, the money is going to be spent wisely, it's not going to just be wasted, because most people, when they have a budget of $1 billion a year, they don't like going below it, because when they go below it, it means next year there's only 800,000, whatever. So we think of something that we help the government, and we bring this educational system out. Okay, sorry, very long-winded, but that was in the middle of the question. Would you be keen to partake in my future event held with Pepsi? Look at further movies I have. So look at further movies that I've made, and know that I'm no movie star, I'm no professional, but I get a bit nervous, and the first one was like this. No, it wasn't my nerves, it was the air conditioning. Okay, so that's for Dr. Steven Greer, and I want to make a statement. The statement is, the elite, the powers are scared. If we wake up, we will not agree, and we will cause havoc, and we will make stomp, and we will cause an absolute mayhem. That is the power, that is the worry, that if we wake up. That's why all the media and everything is rubbish. What they need to do is focus on that. If they make them spiritual, Dr. Wayne Dyer, if they make everyone like Dr. Wayne Dyer and spiritual and forgive and send prayers to these bad people, like I want to help the people that lead. I want to meet people from Black Ops. I really want to meet people from Black Ops. I want to say, hey, how you doing? Shake your hand. I really give it to you. You like all the physics and everything that you're doing. That must be amazing. Like it's off the show. It's like, I'm really interested in this area because I contact ETs and UFOs and make contact that way. And I know that you can't do a census like how they send in the mail census and what's your religion, what's your sex, what's this, how many kids you got. So you can't do that to all the black projects and find out who's doing what. So there's all this need to know, and the thing is the world's in a mess. You've got the cartels, you've got the people that are running the drugs, that are in the big business. Don't worry about that if you're in the big business and you're running all the drugs. Just know that you're not going to get in trouble, but at the end of the day, it's going to be on your own conscience. The only thing from this that is going to harm you is what you feel deep down, what you feel comfortable with what you've done. So for the people that have done bad stuff, they will feel it, they will have to grieve for it. It may be hard. They will recommunicate themselves. Okay. So the other under the statement was, can we market it to them that if we can make them spiritual, that's just what I said, so make them spiritual and say, hey, guess what? We don't believe in religion because we don't believe in God, because if there was a God, we'd be dead right now because of karma. Let's make these people spiritual and make them forgiving, make them understanding, make them make contact with the ETs. And Martin about him, that he wants to help the top of the pyramid. because he wants to do what no one has done before. And the thing is, the universe is perfect. All these universes, all these galaxies out there are living in harmony. But guess what, I say to them? Guess what is wrong? What is not perfect? Your thoughts about us and our history. If we can change that, if the 100 monkey effect or the 20 human effect can affect other human beings from instinctually knowing, then obviously what negative energy that people think of us, we are not connecting to. So I get all this information, I get all these ideas and all this inspiration because I go and I make contact with ETs and I connect to them. And I'm about love and I'm about passion and I'm about drive and just, enthusiastic and just like, I'm going to think of the ultimate thing, we're going to bring the universe together, and it's the ultimate joke because we were a joke and we thought we were the only people out there and we were the centre of the universe like back in the day, but we bring the universes together because all the feuds, and not all the feuds, but how people don't get on and all that sort of stuff. But I want you ETs to lift the vibration of the planet, and I want you to go to the top people at the top of the pyramid, and I want you to send down your computer signals. Get your spaceship, send down your signals to them, make them have dreams of what they need to do, point them in the right direction, help them along a way, lift the vibration of the whole planet. So what you do, and what I ask for, is go home. This is a project for you ETs. Go home, get your planet, get your galaxy, and send out a movie and make it a simulation of the potential of what all the good stuff of all of us have done here on Earth. Send it out there and what it's about and what I'm about. And I'm about all A, all no Z. A is who's on your side to the power of what it is, and Z who doesn't like you and to the power of what it is. And you need all A, not Z. So if you're America or Russia or China, you've got the biggest army, the biggest whatever, and you think no one's going to interrupt us, there's nothing, fucking bombs away. We're all going for it. We're going to send out an intergalactic spaceship with nuclear warheads all over it. And it's thinking, not many people are going to like you if you do that. So you've got to do the right thing. You've got to realise how many people that you've got to have away. Each entity is a dimension. We're multi-dimensional beings. And the thing is, if you can connect from me to another ET being, or connect to another person there, we share a connection. It's like it's like quantum sort of. It's like it's part of it. When two people love each other, they can be on the same connection and they can know exactly what they think. That's what it's about. It's about loving each other, but not loving everyone in a sexual way. Loving people in a loving, spiritual, meaningful, the essence of what everything's about. We can bring the universe together. We can sort our shit out. And for the people out there that are saying that if you go to Pepsi about this, you're going to wreck the image. And I'm like, no. Because what I'm going to say is when I go to Pepsi, I'm going to say, okay, I've made the movie already of the Aboriginals having made contact and the Aboriginal drinking. To me, if you do not help and write a letter to the Australian government and put in some funding to help the Aboriginal community, plus give those Aboriginal communities that we go to, give them money so they can do stuff, this is not going to work. This is total disrespect. I'm wanting to help the Aboriginals. For America, I'm wanting to help the Native Indians. That's how it's supposed to be. It's about helping them. It's about making people realise that there's an essence and realise that there's a reality that we don't treat the world the same way we used to. We don't treat people the same way. We've got this thing in front of us called a TV, which putting all this bad stuff that is changing our views, changing our ways of how we think and how we deal with people. It's a load of bullshit. So, it's about breaking through from that. It's about being spiritual. It's about thinking of ideas together. So bring up your mate Jimmy or Jono or Uncle Sam and make movies for them. The NSA and all these spy agencies are going to be watching it. So I thought the best thing to do to redeem myself, it's redeeming myself. but it's not me trying to redeem myself. It's I'm going to think of the ultimate plan, how I help you, how I get you out of this, how the CIA, how I get you out of all that cocaine smuggling that you've done, how I get, you know, black ops out of all that heroin dealing and all the, you know, the thing is, there's got to be a decision when you cut it off and you say, okay, you know, one time I went out and I had a piece of slate and I wrote a letter on it, and I went outside and I got my hands and I put my hand on it and I blessed it, and then I got water and I washed it, and it was cloudy as all cloudy, and there was a big disc shaped cut around my home, just peering in. And I felt like I was Jesus, and I cleaned the slate, and I said, I cleaned the slate for humanity and throughout the whole universe. And I've done all these other weird things that I said, you know, I felt like I was Jesus, and I'm like a modern day prophet, but my friends would laugh, see, you're not a prophet, Mum, you're not perfect, you don't preach and tell me what to do. But I'm not one of these people that try and preach. My being a prophet is that I'm going to be a good person to my good friends. I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to say good things. I'm going to be there to support them and to make the conversation go forward. A power phrase is a phrase that empowers you, empowers the other person, doesn't take power away from the other person, means what you say what you mean, and you say it nicely and makes the conversation go forward. Too many people want to make conversation, but they don't want to make the conversation go forward. It's snappy, it's this, it's that, you know. And, you know, we're living in a fake society that, you know, you've got to wear the nicest stuff, you've got to look like the model, you've got to have no gut, you know, all this rubbish, you know. And it's one of these things I go out and I say to the aliens, I say, oh, you must be looking at me as a pretty bit of a fat bastard. But, you know, I used to do bodybuilding and I used to look after myself. But, you know, like one day when I was like running and I had this message that going through, like, oh, run a certain way, you know, like you're marketing yourself, like, and I was like, I don't want to market myself, I don't want to be this about, you know, and I don't mind doing it overweight and being, you know, I know my girlfriend's going to be a lot happier when I start looking after myself and I start becoming better looking, but people are so much better and nicer to you when you're a bodybuilder and you're better looking. Guys have got more respect for you, they listen to you, women are just so much nicer. It's just so ridiculous that if someone is attracted to you, how that changes the whole concept of it, and it's rubbish. That's not how it should be. Everyone should treat each other like they're attracted to each other, and that's how nice they are, by not being like that. I'm nice to people, even if I'm not attracted to them. I still treat them exactly the same way. You know, when I had my shop, I used to have all these older women who used to come in. But no offense when I say older, but I was like 23 and I had people from 40 to about 68 come in. I used to be nice, I used to smile, I used to talk to them, they used to come in, you know. Used to do weights, you know, sex selves. And that's what it is. And that's what I'm saying for this topic is we need to market it in a way that we get it out there. And for the people that say Pepsi, don't go for Pepsi because it's a bad image, I'm going to say no. If you steal my ideas, then go for it. You've stolen my ideas, but I wasn't there trying to make contact. I still support you and I still do it on the local C5 and I still help you with you. But I want to be there by your side, but I want to be contracted by you. I don't want to be employed by you because I don't want to work just for you. I want to work for everyone. I want to work with black operations. I want to work with Barack Obama. I want to work with Vladimir Putin and you know, China and everyone. I want to be the middleman, that everyone goes, Marty's the guy, he's a nice guy, you know, that he's not going to go back and just tell, you know, he's going to have a one-on-one to us, he's going to say what it's about, and say that, you know, and everyone wants to be friends with Marty. And I'm not blowing smoke out of my ass, but everyone wants to, like, with all the ETs I make contact with, I go out there, and they're all coming down, they're all flashing, they're all, you know, and I just start saying about this ultimate plan because I've got so much enthusiasm. And, you know, I've got their backing and they want me to do good. And they're like, and I said, oh, you obviously want me to lose weight and look after myself and stop smoking, coming out here and having a cigarette, flashbulb. And I was like, yes, okay. And it's like, and, you know, like, has theatre in the background. You know, being a parent, that it's given me a lot of responsibility and this great need that I have to do something good. So, you know, do what you need to do to be a good person. Bring up your good friends and see how they are. Have it in for the people that are the elite and say, you would never want to trade places with them. Yes, you've got their money, but then you've got all their bullshit fake friends, you know? And I know what that's like from having a business, by having so many bullshit friends that just want to be friends with you because you've got a business. And that's bullshit. You don't want to be with them. You don't want to have all their money. For them to change is going to be a lot harder than us. But they can change because they're going to get supported through this. They're going to see us change. They're going to feel more supportive and more reassured that what they can do, that they're going to put their energy into this. I want to start an educational system. So wherever it is, whether it's in Tasmania or another state, in whatever, 30% of the money that the school makes goes into the local government. The rest of the money goes into the school and goes into paying for the people that are thinking the projects. We go to big businesses and we say, okay, whatever we think of, we take 30%, you take 70%. That's how it works out. So, over and out. Peace out, guys. Keep on making contact, and no Black Ops and NSA. Do you know why there's gold at the end of the rainbow, NSA? It's because you've probably got all the gold, but then you're thinking about, you know, the ET's NSA, and you know, you're willing to give the gold to get rid of the, get out of the rainbow. So that's just a bit of a joke, but you know, take it easy, people. Try and make contact. Just go out under the stars. Do it sober. If it doesn't work, go for a walk. Do it again. Have a few beers. Have a good time. Have your friends around. Start thinking and start pondering in your mind. Know that the power of in your mind and what you think gets passed on throughout all the universe. If it's a strong enough message, if I'm saying something, not that this has been that strong, but if I say something that means that much, and then ETs can come from another universe or another galaxy and come here and sit down and watch and listen and tune in. And, you know, that's when I got that footage the other day. So my little daughter's crying. I should go see if my partner's doing alright. But take it easy, guys. Do me proud. Team up. Know that you work best in the team. So even though you've got these social networks, pick 6 people or 4 people you talk to regularly and say, hey, let's brainstorm, let's have a time we have to talk on Skype and let's work things out. So all the best. Hopefully Dr. Steven Greer, that we can talk and know that even though I want to do this with Pepsi because of the Black Knight, because I think they've got so far and they can push it, and as long as they help the Native Indians and help the Aboriginals, there'll be a killer, because there'll be in history books as being people that made disclosure. So we can do it without them. We don't need to. If you can do it without it, then let's do it. So let's see if we can do it without it. But it was an idea, and even if we don't go ahead with it, and Pepsi look at my videos and it changes their attitude, and then they changes their outlook on things, and it does for good, then that is beneficial for us as well. So just think of the positives. My girlfriend said they're going to steal it, they're not going to employ you, they're not going to, it's like, who cares, they've done it. That's what I want. I don't care if I don't take credit for it. It's, you get more benefit from doing any act of kindness or any act of anything if you take no credit or put your name down next to it. So over and out, people. Peace.